This is Arvind Vohra, founder of Vohra Method and author of The Equation for Excellence: How to Make Your Child Excel at Math. In this video, I'm going to explain how the Vohra Method report system and the Vohra Method checklists work and how you can use them to guide yourself about when you should take your first SAT attempt. Imagine for a moment that your goal is to run a 4-minute mile in an official race. And today in your practice races, you can do a 20-minute mile. Well, obviously, you're not ready to do an official race to try to get a 4-minute mile. So then you train. That's what you do when you're trying to achieve a goal. You train, you get your mile time down to 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 6 minutes. Now you're at 5 minutes. But you're still not ready to shoot for a 4-minute mile in an official race, obviously. There's a big gap between a 5-minute mile and a 4-minute mile. All running experts will tell you that. And just as it's really a lot harder to get, it's as hard to get from 5 minutes to 4 minutes. It's that difference is about as difficult as going from 20 minutes to 5 minutes. That last little bit is the hardest. In SAT training, you'll see the same thing. There's a humongous gap, a huge gap between 1400 and 1500. There's an even bigger gap between 1500 and 1600. If you're going even between 1450 and 1500 or 1500 and 1550, those final gains are the hardest in every sport, in SAT training, in business, in every endeavor of any kind. That last little bit is the hardest. In the running situation, at first, you were shaving minutes off your time. But as you get better, you're now going to be shaving seconds from your running time. That's what it's like. That's the crucial part. If you stick with it, you're going to shave off every single wrong question, just like a runner will shave seconds off their time. But what if you try to take the test early? What if you say, well, all right, I've completed 60%. It says I'm 60% ready. Maybe that's a good time to take it. If you take the test before this number is 100%, there's some chance that you might have some small improvement. And there's also a chance that you might have your score might actually go down. Taking the test when this is anything less than 100 would be just like trying to do an official race for a 4-minute mile before you can even do a 4-minute mile in a practice race. Consider this. Even Olympic athletes will sometimes have bad days. Somebody who can run a 4-minute mile usually might, during an official event, either their nerves or just something gets to them, and they might not be able to do a 4-minute mile in the official race. And these are people who can do a 4-minute mile in a normal situation. And that can happen to great people who are really great at taking the SAT. You might be getting 1500s on all of your practice tests. And even then, if your nerves get to you or something happens that day, even then you might not make it. Now, chances are you probably will make it, but you might not. Here's what happens. If you get this number up to 100%, and remember, that's your percent readiness. This percent readiness is not just like, did you do a bunch of silly stuff that you need to do, some busy work or something. This is going to tell you what percent ready you are. The way that this checklist works, by the way, is if you're 100% ready, doing all this is only going to take you a couple days. So it's not just stuff you need to get through. This number is measuring your skill level, not measuring how much stuff you completed and forgot. It's measuring what your current skill level is, and it is very, very, very reliable. But what if you get to 100%, you take the test, and you don't get above 1500? Well, then you're going to do exactly what the best Olympians do. You keep training and you go back for the next time. Now, Olympians have to wait for 4 years before they can take another official Olympic trial. But you don't have to wait that long. There's an SAT offered every month or every other month. But make sure you have that backup plan. If you do all this, if you get to 100% here and you don't get the score you want, that next level of training is free. but that next level of training is harder than the first level of training. It's just as an AP chemistry class is harder than a chemistry class, the next level of training after this is at 100% is harder. It takes longer than this. So play it safe. Make the guarantee mean something. Make sure you have time to use the guarantee. If you plan to finish this at the absolute last minute, then the guarantee has no meaning. The guarantee is just me saying, I hope you do well. But if you leave time for additional training, then the guarantee means that we are 100% going to do whatever additional training we need to do to get you there. Remember this, you're training to be part of the ultra elite. And that's going to require ultra elite level training.